however you want to say it. He's gonna whoop this man. He's too quick. He's gonna move around. Francis is not gonna be able to touch him. They'll get about the third round. Francis is gonna look like me out there, be gassed out, tired, can't do anything. He's gonna get beat. And then Francis can go box, like I've been saying this whole time, since he can go make all this money. He can go box all he wants to, bro. He can have a whole career in the heavyweight if he wants to.
Okay, so you have Francis losing. How do you have him losing? Just completely like dominated? Is it a competitive fight?
I think the first 2 rounds are competitive, and then Francis tapers off, and then Gane maybe finish if he can keep his stamina, but probably by decision, maybe. Okay. I don't know. I could see him finishing him though, but maybe like a TKO, not like a brutal knockout or anything. Okay. Just a.
Let me just throw this out there for you, just to kind of have an idea. Let's say Francis wins. I know you might not give him a chance, but what are the chances that he stays in the UFC if he actually wins? I know there's with the UFC with the contract extensions as far as but Ngannou's kind of adamant on wanting to do things outside the UFC. So let's say he wins. What do you think happens on his end and on the UFC's end?
Well, I'm saying he said he's not gonna fight on his contract anymore. So I guess he's leaving either way. So I mean, I don't know. If he wins, then maybe Dana offers him a bag and they figure out like a little thing where he can go box somebody. But I don't think Dana's gonna like stay attached with him for him to go box unless he's fighting Tyson.
Gotcha.
I think that's the only way Dana stays attached. If he wants to have multiple boxing fights and all that stuff, he's in the wrong business. You know what I'm saying? How about the UFC? He can get. I was saying this earlier. He can go do some, Fast and Furious movies and stuff. Whatever the heck he wants to do, go make. I don't care what he. I used to like him. He used to be great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over it now.
We've had this discussion before, but can you blame the man? Can you blame the man?
He hasn't defended his title once.
What if he might? What if he?
He beat a watered down Stipe.
Again, if he beats Ciryl Gane, that's a title defense right there.
Yeah, that's one.
And he's the underdog.
And guess what? Oh, it's almost like Vegas knows, huh?
Yeah, Vegas. I think they started at like a -110 for Ciryl Gane, and through like every day, it's been kind of altering more towards Ciryl Gane's favor.
You know what that tells me?
Yeah,
that the sharps are betting Ciryl because they know he's going to beat Francis, and Francis is done. I'm telling you, man.
I mean, Amanda was like a -1,000.
That's like the second biggest upset in history. Like, come on,
it is.
Like, let's be honest.
But that's what I'm saying. And Ngannou has, of course, more of a chance against Ciryl Gane. He has a puncher's chance, of course.
Oh, of course. Don't let him land. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, can't let him land. I'm not saying he can't knock him out. I'm just saying I don't think he's going to.
Right. I agree.
Cyryl's the most. We've been saying this for weeks now. He's the most athletic heavyweight I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Out of anybody.
And for that reason, if he does beat Ciryl, doesn't he deserve like a lot of credit for being able to put him out? Because I think most people are betting on Ciryl Gane as far as for being the more skilled fighter. If Ngannou gets to put him out, when people are raving about Ciryl Gane being the best footwork as far as a heavyweight, potentially if he gets past Ngannou, he might be a champion for a long time.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't get past Ngannou, how much credit do we give Ngannou for winning?
If Ciryl doesn't get past him?
Yes, yeah.
Then wait, what's the question? I kind of zoned out there for a second.
If Ngannou beats Ciryl Gane, how much credit are you get? How significant of a win that is? Because
you got a nice win under your belt. Like put it like this:
his first win under impressive win to you or no?
It wouldn't be his first impressive win. I mean, he has some highlight knockouts and it's cool and everything. But I'm saying like it would be like. Okay, he's serious. This dude's serious. He's really gonna fight, and he's gonna have a little run in here.
Okay,
but he don't even want that. So why would I don't even see it happen? He don't even want that.
If he beats Ciryl Gane, Trey, just to go with me a little, I have Gane winning. Just disclaimer. But if he does beat Ciryl Gane, is there anyone out there that is a threat to Ngannou if Gane loses? They might run it back. Who knows? Depending on how competitive it is, but. If he gets past Ciryl Gane, I don't know who out there.
I'm a rider forever. I don't care what y'all say.
Right.
Derek Lewis.
Oh my God, Derek Lewis out of.
You're so disrespectful to him, like so disrespectful.
Me? I'm disrespectful to him?
Yes, because you talk about, well, he's not a draw, nobody knows him, but guess what? That would be a fight. And that might even be more hyped up than Ciryl.
It's just they had one of the worst fights in like history.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And Lewis might not get past Tuivasa.
All right. See, I'm torn on that one, but like, right. They're kind of the same type of fighter where it's like they just got so much power that at any moment in the fight you could just drop them.
You know who I like though in the heavyweight division right now? Just to mention him real quick, Tom Aspinall.
Oh, of course.
I think he's going to be one of those guys that are when he climbs up the ranks and he gets a title shot, he's going to be game against anyone, whether it's Ngannou still there or Ciryl Gane. But you know, I just think, yep.
I was about to say on a technical level, yeah, I love Tom Aspinall. Like I think he's going to be great, and they're not rushing him either, so I love that too. He's going to get some reps in the ring, build his resume up a little bit, but
yeah.
Bro, if Francis wins, I think it's like what's her name, Harrison about to be in the UFC, and then Amanda loses, right? Because they were going to have that fight, and now it's like if Francis wins, it's like, all right, kind of what do we do? He doesn't want to really fight for us unless he's going to go fight somewhere else. It's like that's just weird, bro. And he's making all these claims and demanding all this stuff before he even won.
Yeah, he could be shooting himself in the foot too because look at Cejudo's situation as far as retiring out of nowhere. The UFC doesn't like that. You know what I mean? Like now he's trying to get a title fight and it's just not happening.
That's what to me. That's like biting the hand that feeds you, kind of. And I don't like that. Like
right, like Cejudo, like I don't think he's gonna get paid what he wants. Do we ever see Cejudo back? You think? Just to kind of go off topic a bit.
I do think he'll come back. I don't know what weight class or who it will be against or how long it's going to be, but the fact that he's like active and tweeting and like saying stuff and like making comments and stuff lets me know that he's still got his toe in the water. He's still interested. Like if the money's right, if the fight's right, it's a good opportunity. I mean, why would you say no?
No, I completely understand. Now, one quick thing that Ground Zero said, he said they're all just keeping the belt warm for John Jones. How true do you think that is? Do we see John Jones fight in the heavyweight division? Because again, let's say Francis Ngannou wins, John Jones is a big fight, or Ciryl Gane wins. I still want to see John Jones against like either heavyweight champion, whoever is still holding on to the title. But what do you think about John Jones as far as competing against either guy, whether it's Ciryl Gane or Francis Ngannou?
Well, I mean, I would love to see that, obviously, but John Jones is too busy doing amateur fights with his girl. You know what I'm saying? Like. Is he ever coming back? I don't even know. This man can't even stay out of trouble right now.
There's speculation. There's a conspiracy that he might have like a USADA ban because they don't have to let us know like whether someone's banned or not. And it's he's kind of pushing that 2-year mark or like heading towards there. I don't know. We haven't heard anything about John Jones besides him putting out videos of him lifting and working with Cejudo, but. I don't know. It's
if he was on as good as mine. That doesn't surprise me at all. Like I would be like, yep, 100%. I mean, he blew up quickly. He got huge.
Yeah, and he's not stay out of trouble.
He's not super defined, but yeah, I mean, this guy is, bro. He's kind of a joke now, but he's arguably the best fighter in UFC history. You know what I'm saying? So,
arguably,
I would still love to see him fight. I still. Like, love him in the ring, but I think he's a freaking idiot.
Did you see what Daniel Cormier said about him? And that's something I want to touch on real quick, too.
Maybe. What did he say?
He was saying that he doesn't think that he'll come back and beat, like, Gane or win the heavyweight title. And kind of basically along the lines of waiting this long to fight hurts you. It's never a good thing, right?
I mean, history shows that. But
it does. So is that the same with John Jones, you think? Like, do you think he's only 30? He's like a year older than Adesanya. I always forget that. He's not that old, but
that's crazy. That's why he's the GOAT, because like
He was dominating at a
Bro,
young age.
he was bullying cats like
Yeah.
that. But, oh, bro, I don't know. I don't honestly. When he comes back, I don't think he fights Francis or Ciryl. I don't think it's that big. Like, I could see him fighting like. Let me say it again. Derek Lewis. I could see
Oh my
him
God, this
fight.
guy loves Derek Lewis.
I could see his. I could honestly see his comeback fight being against Stipe and Stipe being out until John Jones comes back. Not having any.
Look, real quick, I can't get past this part. The Derek Lewis thing, I will bet you $25 that Tuivasa wins that fight.
Are you serious, bro?
Yeah. I don't believe in Derek Lewis, man.
Oh my, bro!
Yes.
I wish Drew and them was in here with me right now, and with all the disrespect you put in.
He has Tuivasa as well.
Why do you not like him? I don't understand.
Cause he's not. He's a one. I don't really want to say it this way, but like a one-trick pony kind of guy. If he can't land a big knockout punch, he's not winning. Now the difference between him and Ngannou is I think Ngannou's a bit faster as far as hand speed. I think he packs a bit more power in both hands. Where Derek Lewis kind of just looks for that overhand right, that looping right. But I don't. Like I just don't think. I think he's gonna be a gatekeeper for like the rest of his career.
One trick pony, okay, huh? Miller, what if I told you that every time you did a trick, you would win? Would you do it every time?
Of course, but it didn't work against.
Oh, okay.
All right,
and so why would it be different? He's gonna knock these cats out.
But didn't work. It didn't work against Ciryl Gane.
That's what I'm saying. Because Ciryl's the most athletic heavyweight we've ever seen. That boy moves.
So you think Lewis beats anyone besides Ciryl Gane?
I think if him and Ciryl fought again, it would be a way different fight than what it was. I don't think it would be that bad. That was bad. I don't even know if he touched Ciryl.
I don't think Lewis could do anything with Gane, and I think he loses just as bad, maybe even sooner.
Listen, Miller.
Yeah.
Is Francis not a one-trick pony?
In a sense, yes.
In a sense, that he's like half a trick pony. It's one punch.
Yes.
That's all you need.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I'm putting too much weight on it, but I think him having a longer reach and taller is just a bit different than someone like Lewis. That's all.
Not even that. Who do you think's faster, Lewis or Francis?
I think Francis has better hand speed for sure. Do you disagree?
Yes. What? He's got more power. I'll say he has more power. Derek Lewis is faster than Francis.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know if he's as explosive as Ngannou. I don't.
Half neck when he punches. That thing just comes and finally gets over there and pokes at.
He throws a bit wide as well too. At least Ngannou will give you like a left hook, a left uppercut, or something. With Lewis, all I see is overhand rights and that. It's a bomb.
Bro, Francis throws sloppy sometimes. You saw us when he gets strike. He was literally fighting like the girls do out in the courtyard at school. Like
it is sloppy. Too. But sometimes looking that unorthodox could benefit you is all I'm saying. Where like, for example, Lewis punches were so telegraphed against Ciryl Gane, but that's credit to Ciryl.
Bro, what I'm saying right now is you're knocking Derek for the same thing you're praising Francis for. You understand that?
No, I have Gane winning.
Your comparison of Francis.
Because Francis has a longer reach, he's taller, and I think he's a bit more explosive and has a bit more power.
It definitely has more power. I'll give you that. Right.
And I'm saying that little bit of more power could get him a win, but is it likely? No, that's why I'm going Ciryl Gane.
Yeah, okay, I like that.
But he has a puncher's chance. But Derek Lewis, I think he loses to Tuivasa. So if you want to put a little money on that, we can.
I will gladly listen. And
this guy's capping for Lewis as Truth Bomb. I don't think he's as special as Trey is making it seem, but Lewis would be a bang. Absolutely.
He's the third best fighter in heavyweight.
Derek Lewis?
Yes.
Aspinall will beat him.
No.
Tuivasa's probably going to beat him.
No, I don't know. See, listen, I love Tuivasa, bro. Like, that is my guy. I've watched every single fight since he joined the UFC.
Yeah.
I want to see him do a shoey so bad.
Right.
But the Black Beast, bro. Derek.
You don't think Ngannou beats Lewis if they run it back?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That first fight was so horrendous. So
that's a 50-50 to me.
Okay, I respect it.
You think he does?
I think Ngannou wins. I'm not high on Lewis. I don't know if I'm criticizing him too much because of the fight against Ciryl Gane, but he looked horrible.
But that's what I'm trying to tell you about Ciryl. Like, this dude's a freak.
He is. He is.
Because Derek doesn't ever look like that.
No, he did. He never looks that. Well, he also talked about fighting in his hometown, and the nerves got to him, and we got to give him a little credit. He did come back and get a win after that. So
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Ciryl beat him so bad that Derek's last fight, I was like, oh, I'm kind of nervous. Like, I don't even know if he's gonna be the same or anything,
Yeah.
But of course, he's that dog. He came out.
When does him and Tuivasa fight? Actually, I could probably look it up real fast because.
I want to say like March maybe or February
versus. Is it on that card?
Might be April.
April 9th? Is it the same day as the Aljamain Sterling fight? Fight to be added for UFC 271. So yeah, Derek Lewis and Tai Tuivasa. So that will be. I'm looking it up right now.
It'll be April.
Is that the same card? Okay, so is that the same card as Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling? I think so.
I think so, yeah.
So that wouldn't be too bad. Ground Zero says Black Beast and Ngannou should have been a draw. That was a horrible fight. Andrew is in the stream. Your cousin says Aspinall beating anybody but Gane and Lewis. I think he beats Lewis. I don't know about Gane, Andrew. I was speaking highly of Tom Aspinall. I just think Lewis is going to be a gatekeeper.
Bro. I don't understand the hate on. Do you just not watch his fights? Like, I don't get it.
Something Truth Bomb said. He says Lewis rarely looks good in the fights he does win. LOL. There have been fights that he has won that it was just in the last closing seconds of the last round where he lands a knockout punch, but he was losing. Lewis is. I think he's overhyped.
The Truth Bomb needs to change his name to Dummy Boy because that was an incredibly horrible comment. If there's any mods in the chat, let's get him banned for at least 300 seconds, please. Thank you.
Look, let's move on. But all right, so wait, real quick, final prediction. Ngannou Gane, how do you have it playing out?
I think Gane wins. It's going to be after the third round if it's a finish.
Are you going to bet on it?
I don't know. I might stay away from that one. If I am going to bet on it, though, I'm putting my money on Gane, depending on how big it gets. If it gets close to 200, then I would put a little money on Francis.
Okay. Yeah, like right now, the live odds, if I were to look at it, let's see, Ngannou versus Gane odds. I know it was like a minus 110 for
even. If it's that low, if it stays around that low, then I would bet Gane all the way, 100%.
It's a minus 150 right now and a plus 125 according to iShark.
Still bet Gane. That's the fight. What's the over-under for that fight? Do you know?
Let me see. A plus 125 for Francis and Ngannou. As far as rounds?
Yes.
Let me see if I look. I don't think they have anything on here.
I could look it up, but it would take my camera off. I don't know if you want me to.
No, it's how would you bet it? Depending on what?
Listen, Drew, if you're listening, tell us the over/under for Francis and Ciryl, because he'll know.
Okay, yeah, I'm Mr. DraftKings himself, Andrew Wheat. Gane and Ngannou, I meant not Lewis, my bad. Aspinall beating anybody but Francis and Gane. Yes, I agree with you. He's got heavy hands. That's it. That's how I feel about Derek Lewis, Truth. But you have it going to Gane by...
I'm just going to say TKO. I'll say TKO.
Ciryl Gane by TKO.
Yeah, he's going to have... Francis is going to have the same little shot that Dustin and Connor did. They're going to have their knee propped up. He's going to have his arm on his hand.
He did put in great work against Derek Lewis as far as like the outside leg kicks and kind of breaking him down. And if Ngannou loses power, it's going to be...
He's going to have to keep up with Gane. You know that, right? Like,
yeah, right.
Not going to happen. He's going to tire out.
I think the conditioning factors, it could play a major part. But
now, let me say this, though. My buddy Joe, okay, he wanted me to give him a shout-out. All right, so shout out to Joe, and he thinks Francis is going to win. He thinks we're absolute idiots for even thinking Gane.
Joe, if you hear us out there, Ciryl Gane wins, no question in my mind. But if Ngannou wins, I won't be too surprised. One thing I will tell you is Derek Lewis doesn't beat anybody in the top 5 right now. But that's all I got to say about that. He's got heavy hands. That's it. That's truth. All right, let's move on real quick, Trey. We could come back to this. Okay. I wanted to talk about Moreno versus Figuerato. Yes. How do you have this fight playing out as far as, remember, this is the third fight that they're going to see each other.
Yep. We got a draw, and then Moreno won, and then now we got this one. Now, me and Drew was talking about this the other day.
Okay, real quick. Drew says over 1.5 is minus 185.
Yeah, love that. I love the over.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that over. It's a little high, minus 185, so you're gonna have to bet bigger on it, but I would slam that.
Does that just mean over 1.5 rounds?
That means that it needs to get it needs to go one full round and get
Right.
to 229 in the
In the
second round,
second round. Okay.
and you win. That
That's
would
not
be
that.
the over.
Okay, I would bet that. I'm probably gonna bet that this.
I like the over.
Yeah. Okay. So back to the Moreno versus Figueredo. What were you
Yeah.
saying? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so me and Drew was talking about this. Now, Drew thinks that
Mm-hmm.
Figueredo is going to come out and kind of be like on his game and beat. No.
I wish we had Drew here right now just so we could mess with him. But
I don't know. We could get him in here if you really want to. I could get him on here. Me personally, I think Brandon Moreno has his number a little bit. He's got. If you think of it like poker, he has more outs, right? You're always looking for your outs in poker. How many outs do you?
Yeah.
I just think Brandon has more outs. He's nice on the ground. He can stand up and strike with them. I think we saw Figueredo at his best against Brandon, and he, at best, drawed with him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, he got a point taken away as well too, so
Yeah,
could have won that. Right.
Personally, I just think Brandon has his number. I think he's too much. I think it's probably go back to the ground again a little bit. I think I could see it. I could see Brandon standing up a little bit more this time and maybe trying to throw with him and wear him down, tire him out, and then going to the ground possibly.
Yeah.
But I just think he has his number. I think he's probably peaking right now and in his prime at this point. And you know what I'm saying? I just think he's Figueredo. I don't want to say he's on the downslope, but I just don't know if this is the. I just think he's outmatched here. Like there's just too many outs for Brandon Moreno. I don't know. What do you think?
I was watching the Embedded, and I was also watching. I forget who. I think it was Bisping that was basically saying the same thing you said, which is surprising. About he just thinks he has his number.
There's always a back. A back.
So it was surprising because he was saying like I think he just has Figueredo's number. I believe it was Bisping or some ex-fighter. So don't quote me on that so much. But now I was watching the Embedded and I just think Moreno looks like. There's two types of fighters. One that gets the title and they start doing dumb stuff, right? They kind of got to where they wanted to.
You know what I'm saying? They did what they wanted to do.
Like a who?
I said it's like they made it. They did what they wanted to do. Like they accomplished the thing and it's done.
And there are those that they get it and they don't want to let it go, right? And you can kind of tell, what kind of fighter a person is with their interviews, how interested they look, whether they're putting their opponent off. I'm just saying with Moreno, I was watching Embedded and he looks like he won the title and he really wants to keep it. He was the first Mexican champion. That's a pretty big deal for like a whole country. It's a lot of pressure. Some people deal well with pressure or they don't, but at the same time, Moreno was kicked off the UFC. He's been through hell and back, right? Yeah. So now that he has the title, I really can't see him letting that title go, especially after beating Figueredo by submission before, like in the second fight.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like he's firing on all cylinders right now. I really think he's in his prime right now. He's probably at the very peak of it, and I don't know. I could still see this being I could still see it. I could see it go 5 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Again, and there's a decision, and Moreno winning the decision. But I think he's gonna wear him down a little bit. Let him punch himself out a little bit, standing up, leg kicks, all that stuff, and then take it to the ground. Maybe 4th round finish or something like that. 4th or 5th round finish.
According to OddsShark, they have Moreno at a minus 185, Figueredo at a plus 150.
Yeah. So I would still bet Moreno on that minus 185. You're gonna have to bet a little bigger, but I still like him. I might even put fight to not go the distance. I don't know what that would be, but I could see 4th or 5th round finish.
Now, Trey, I hold your words to high esteem. I do. But if there's somebody that I put over you, it will be Drew. And he says, Miller, whole camp, Fig been with Henry. You know how we think about him. I saw Henry Cejudo in embedded as well too. He has no doubt in his mind that Figueredo wins.
Yeah, didn't we say the same thing about Zhang and Rose in their last rematch? Oh, Henry been with her. You see, hey, he's been coaching. He's in the embedded.
Oh, that's a good point by Trey.
Making Instagram jokes. It don't matter if he's over there coaching them or not. I mean.
So that doesn't play a factor at all. You think?
I don't. Me personally, I don't think so. I think Figueredo's kind of solidified in what he does. Like he has a style. That's what he does. I don't know how he's going to change the game plan up. I mean, it's not like he's going to take him down or something. He can't take him down because then he's beat on the ground. So he's going to have to just outstrike him. That's the only way you're going to beat him, and keep the fight standing up. If he can keep the fight standing up, maybe, you know what I'm saying, maybe he can win. But I think it would go to decision if Figueredo wins. I don't see him finishing Brandon Moreno.
I got a good question for you then. If you had to pick on who keeps their title after this weekend, you can only pick one champion. Ciryl Gane or Brandon Moreno. He's more likely. You have Moreno.
Yeah, yeah. And Francis has the title, not Ciryl Gane. But I like that you're saying Ciryl Gane.
You know what I'm...
Let's get Francis out of here. He's going to be in the next Fast and Furious. I can't wait for it.
I mean, he's going to make 10x what he makes in the UFC if he decides to, do boxing or fight against Fury, because, Dana White is underpaying everyone and, Yeah. But anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, okay, Jake Paul, appreciate it.
It was controversial. People think Zhang won. Now, it was close. It was a close fight, but I had Rose winning for sure. At least clear.
Yeah, I had Rose winning too, 100% all the way.
Okay, so you think Moreno has a better chance to be Figueredo than Ciryl Gane versus Francis and Ngannou?
Then Francis hasn't beaten Ciryl?
Yes.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, I have the same picks as well too. I think both champions will remain champions.
So you don't have anything smart to say to me right now because you have the same picks. Oh, okay.
I'm actually well. That's what scares me, right? That we actually have the same picks.
I'm just training you. You're starting to learn from me. You're starting to catch on. You're starting to choose the right cats. I like that.
The only time I won money it was by going with Drew's picks, because when I went with yours, I don't think it went too well for me.
Not true. 17-3 in the last 3 main cards. So,
are you betting this card or you're not sure?
Yeah, I probably will bet this card. I just got to look at. I haven't placed anything yet. But everything I say that I would bet, I'm probably going to bet. Everything I'm saying right now that I bet.
Are you betting on any other fight? I don't know if you're betting on the Greg Hardy fight.
I'm not. I would stay away from Greg, just because you never know. If you're gonna bet him, I think Michel Pierre is on this fight. I would slam him. I don't know what his line is.
I can look it up real quick. I was looking it up earlier. He's fighting. I think Andre Fialho's fight is his first one in the UFC. So let me see if I can find it real quick as far as the odds versus Fialho.
I'm trying to think of the card right now, just off the top of my head.
Greg Hardy. I could pull it up for you real quick. Let me see. They have him as a -310.
Yeah, so all right, he's not even worth betting. I would not bet on a -310 favorite unless you're going to put him in a parlay.
Okay.
Then you know what I'm saying, that'll knock the price down a little bit for you.
That wouldn't be bad actually. A Pereira, Moreno, and then Gane parlay. Would he do that?
Would I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that. I mean, I don't know. That's just because there's two. Not 50-50s, but Brandon could lose. He could lose because Figuerado's a dog.
Yeah, right.
Branson is a one-shot knockout, so it's that's really 50-50. But I think that would pay pretty decent though if he's -180 or whatever, 175, and then Brandon is -185, and then you have a -300. You probably could get almost 2-1 for that. I bet.
I might do a little parlay. I've only done it once, I believe, a long time ago.
Here's a tip I'll give you though. If you're unit betting, which is basically take it, you don't bet
for me, Trey. Mm-hmm.
Say you have $100 bankroll,
right?
It wouldn't be putting $100 on someone. You would put $10 on someone. That would be a unit. I'm just giving it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do units, I would do one full unit, whatever your unit is, that's up to y'all to decide.
Yeah.
On like a straight up bet, and then put like half a unit on parlays, just so you're not losing a full unit on a parlay, because then you're wasting money.
Well, let's say one unit is $20. You would do 20 on one fight, and then $10 parlay on.
Yeah, exactly.
Which would be half a unit, right? Like
right. That way, say you parlay these 3 fights, and then you bet them straight up. If you hit 2 of them,
yep,
you're not going to lose because you're going to bet.
What kind of cover is that? What they call hedging? I guess hedging your bets, or
hedging would be hitting all the fights on a parlay but one, and then going and betting against your parlay. That would be hedging. That way, but you make money.
I see Ciryl talk about it with the one guy. I forget his name that he always has on there. As far as I think he's down some money as far as his last 2 events. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yanni or whatever the heck his name.
He's always on there.
He's got big teeth.
Yeah, what's about that? Basic statistics that have welterweights. I think that. Yeah.
That guy. That
guy. Drew loves that guy. I idiot. Now listen, I will say this on Contender Series. If Yanni's ever on there giving up picks, slam whatever he says.
Really interesting.
Contender Series very well.
All right, so I got 2 more topics here before we talked about Cejudo, about whether he will ever fight again in the UFC.
What's your opinion though? You think he comes back, or you think he stays retired?
I think he stays retired, man.
Really?
Or fights in another organization. I think it's gonna be one of those.
For who? For Bellator?
Look, let me explain. I think with Cejudo, I'm not saying is necessarily pride in a bad way. Maybe it's a good thing, where he's not going to get the number he wants because he feels he deserves more, but the UFC just completely feels differently, and he doesn't get the number he wants, so we never see him back. And I also think, too, him being a champion, 2-time champion, I don't think he wants to fight for anything less than a title, unless it's like a big money fight where I don't really see anything out there for him. That's why I don't think he's coming back. Here's
the thing that is different between UFC and boxing. You don't go and fight in the UFC to get a payday. You know what I'm saying? That's not your payday. So him winning the title and then having the title and then retiring, just like splitting and everything, you don't just come in and say, all right, y'all pay me all this money, I'm about to come back and fight for y'all. This is not that, league.
I'm agreeing with you too much because I feel the same way. It kind of bothers me. Like, yeah, I agree. I think he kind of.
So how do you not feel that way about Francis? Like, he's doing the same exact thing, except he's still in there. And he's
so you want to go back to this? Why is it different?
I'm trying to preach to you, bro. Because
no. It's way different. Way different.
No, it's not.
For one simple reason. Ngannou has options outside of the UFC that Cejudo doesn't have anywhere close to.
Okay, I agree with that.
That's why it's completely different.
But he's still doing the same thing. He's saying, all right, peace out, y'all.
Yeah, but it's all about leverage.
Give me all this money. You're holding it over their head. Give me all this money. I'm this great friend. Or peace out.
Doesn't have any leverage, though. What opponent outside of the UFC?
I bet Henry's last main card he did, last big pay-per-view he did, got more pay-per-view buys than Francis against Stipe.
Okay, but again, who does he have outside of the UFC that's as big of a name that Francis could have outside the UFC?
He wins that. Okay, I'm telling you, he wins that side. Right. He can go fight maybe Tyson, maybe, who knows? Tommy won't even fight Jake. You know what I'm saying? They pull out of fights. Right. So maybe he fights Tyson Fury.
But you see the difference, though, right? Is what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that I actually feel bad for Cejudo.
Listen,
he doesn't have leverage.
I'm not saying he doesn't have any leverage. I'm just letting you know he's doing the same exact thing Henry's doing, and you're calling Henry or her basically for being like kind of corny and being like, all right, I'm gonna come back and fight for y'all. Y'all can pay me. When you want Francis to go leave and have a fight and then go right back to the UFC.
The difference also get down. The difference also is
look, she's trying to comfort you because she knows you get bullied right now.
The difference is with, for example, let's say Ngannou does the same thing. He beats Ciryl Gane, then he retires. At the end of the day, he's again. I'm kind of beating the same point. He's gonna have an option outside the UFC to make a ton of money. Cejudo doesn't have that. That's why I don't really have a problem with it because he can make a ton of money fighting boxing.
So because Henry can't make a ton of money out of UFC, you have a problem with it. That's what you're saying.
He kind of shot himself in the foot.
Where else?
He shot himself in the foot where Ngannou is gonna have more options, so he can get. What were you saying earlier about?
Let me tell you this.
You were talking about poker outs earlier. You remember that?
Right.
Francis has more outs.
Yes, I agree. But let me tell you this. After beats Francis and whoops him like he's going to, probably
he can still make money out there.
That boy ain't gonna be fighting Tyson. He'll be fighting Tyson. You know what he's gonna be doing? He's gonna be over there in them African leagues where they don't even really be wearing gloves, getting knocked down in that dirt circle.
He's gonna have a multi-million-dollar chance to fight someone like Fury or Wilder or Joshua. He's gonna have options. So Cejudo shot himself in the foot because he has nobody.
Listen. Yeah. Francis loses this fight. Let's just say, right? Let's just say Gane finishes him.
Yes.
Third or fourth round finishes him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not brutal, but it's like, oh, okay, Gane is like, this is the dude.
Gane is better than him. Yes.
Yeah,
right.
the dude. Francis leaves the UFC, right? He can't get a deal done. They can't figure out a contract where he can fight and all that stuff. He goes and fights Tyson or Deontay or, you know, whoever the heck you want, the Latino butterbean. I don't even care who it is.
Right.
But whatever.
I'm following you. Mm-hmm.
Gets brutally knocked out. Like, gets dropped.
Okay.
Why the heck would the UFC want him now? He just lost all his leverage.
Okay. I'm following you.
Why would we want him back? Why would Dana be like, all right, come on back, brother. The heavyweight is yours. He wouldn't.
Not gonna want him. No, he probably is not gonna want him back.
So,
I agree.
I hope he really wants to be a boxer. I hope he really, really wants to, because he's about to have to make a living off of this for the rest of his life.
I think he cares more about the pay more than anything else.
And this is what I was preaching the whole time on the last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to get paid, tell him to kick rocks. Go do his little boxing. Go do his little Jackass movies. Go do his little Fast and Furious or whatever the heck other franchise he wants to do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Go make your money. You're not a real fighter. You're not a warrior like you preach to be.
But Trey, this is where, you know, how they say where the buck meets the road, or I forget the saying in I don't know from North Carolina. Anyways,
definitely just butchered it, but
I definitely did 100%. I'll probably edit this part out. At the end of the day, the difference is he's gonna make a ton of money out there. Where Cejudo, it sucks for him because he just really doesn't have any options out there. He has nothing out there. What weight does McKee fight at? He's heavier, right? I think he's like 155.
I think he's like 2 divisions heavier, maybe.
Yeah, so like imagine something like that if they were like at a catch weight would be interesting. Demetrius Johnson maybe again, you know, might be an option, but that's really like what other names out there are you like, oh my God, I want to see Cejudo fight.
I'm saying though, that's why I see Henry coming back. Because like you're saying, he doesn't have all that.
That's where we disagree, because I think Cejudo is really adamant. Like, look, if they don't pay me what I think I'm worth, I'm not going to fight. And I think Dana White is not – he doesn't want to pay him after the way he retired.
So, listen, this is Henry's only other option if he doesn't go back to UFC.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to get in the triad combat.
Do you think he'll climb the ranks though? Like let's say Dana White says, you know what, I'll give you the number 3 ranked fighter.
Bro, should he have to climb the ranks? I mean, come on though. Like, let's be honest.
I don't think he should. That's what I'm saying. I think he should get the Volkanovski fight. I don't see why not.
I don't know. He's not even in that division.
He's not, but trying to make history. Like what? Okay, what bigger fight is there out there for Volkanovski? Name me 2 fighters that's bigger than a Cejudo fight, because I can't come up with it. Is what I'm saying.
I mean, it's definitely not the Korean Zombie. I know that. It's
not. It's not
interesting. Max, I think is more interesting. I would love to see that again because everybody loves to claim Max won. You know, some people he won both fights. You know, but
right.
But I don't know. I guess Max is the only one who would compete with that, you know.
That's why I think Cejudo should have got the shot. Where I don't know if we disagree in that part, but I would have loved to see Volkanovski Cejudo. By the way, Drew says he's calling you Trainer White at it again, and then Mike says Francis will get hurt against any top 10 heavyweight boxer. I agree, Mike. I agree. I just think there's a lot more money out there for him. I'm sorry, Trey. Go ahead.
First of all, tell Drew to hop off my Johnson. I'll knock him out too.
Oh my God.
Second of all, I forgot what I was saying because you interrupted me, Dad.
Cejudo
Volkanovski.
Do you have a problem? Like,
oh yeah. Here's the thing.
yeah.
Maybe Daniel was like, all right, let me talk to him, and Volkanovski said, yeah, no shot. Well, then it's like, all right, you're not going to be like, well, you're going to take this fight or we're stripping you of the belt, are you? No. So
Cejudo mentioned about that. He thinks that it didn't happen because they didn't like the number that he offered. Because he offered, I guess, some kind of number as far as like what he feel he deserves.
On the MMA hour talking about it just didn't make sense. Like nothing, you know.
I did see that too.
Sense for him to do that because he wouldn't really benefit from anything because he's not even in the division really, and like it's kind of just a one. Like if he wins, it's kind of just like
I don't know. I don't know if Volkanovski's playing politics because I think if Cejudo gets announced against Volkanovski, I think that's a big fight, man. I truly do think that.
Listen, I'm not saying they can't fight. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying like that last minute being like, all right, we want to do this mega fight now. It's like, well, let's just chill for a little bit. Let me fight somebody else, and then we can hype it up properly, you know, and actually do this the correct way instead of just being like, oh, let's just throw him in. That way, it'll be a huge fight.
Is he undercutting anyone? Like, for example, all right, we look at the lightweight division, right?
Here's the thing, though. Volkanovski just has so much to lose on that. Like, he has everything to lose on that.
What if Cejudo says, I'll defend it or I'll give him a rematch, though? Like, real quick, so in the lightweight division, right? If Conor skips over, like, if Conor fights Oliveira, I can see, like, how Gaethje's upset because he doesn't get a title shot, you know, or something like, what's that?
That won't happen.
Okay, so, but as far as the featherweight division, if Holloway's hurt, I don't really care if it's Cejudo. Like, I don't really care about the Korean Zombie that much. Giga, a lot of people were high on. He lost. Cater took a beating to Holloway.
Maybe Calvin.
But he lost to Holloway. I'm just saying, like, he's ranked number 5. It's not that big of a deal in my opinion.
The fight to make isn't Korean Zombie. Like, it's gotta be like, you know, Calvin or. I honestly I don't mind Henry fighting him. I'm not against that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, but I think it was just too like spur of the moment. Like, let's just have this mega fight now out of nowhere, kind of.
So you see Cejudo coming back though for something else?
But I see him coming back for that, possibly something else.
Like what though? I don't think anything else wakes him up to say I want to do this. That's my biggest. That's why I really think he's not going to come back.
Maybe Piotr. What
a Piotr Jan fight?
Yeah, maybe.
That's at bantamweight. Yeah.
You don't like that?
I do like that fight, but again, I really think your uncle, like your like blood uncle Dana White, doesn't want anything to do with Cejudo. I truly think Dana White and Trainer White are like, you know, they just don't want to see Cejudo come back.
Y'all want me to be offended by y'all calling me Trainer White and Dana White and stuff. But that $2 in the UFC and any of y'all, I appreciate it, boys.
Wait. You broke up. You broke up a bit. Wait. You broke up. Can you say it again?
Yeah, y'all want that to be an insult. Like, y'all are saying that to be an insult towards me. Like, you know, Trainer White and Dana White's nephew and all that stuff. But that boy got more knowledge in the UFC than any of y'all, so I appreciate that. Y'all calling me smart. I appreciate y'all, boys. I do know the UFC, and I take pride in that, so thank you.
Look, Piotr Jan versus Cejudo, I would love it. I don't think Dana White would ever let it happen.
Oh,
what's that?
You think that's better? I think that's better than Volkanovski. I'd rather see that than.
Okay, but what are the chances of that happening?
Lesser than Volkanovski.
That's what you get. What I'm saying is like, I really don't think. All right, let's make a little side bet because this is fun. So, all right, Cejudo coming back in 2 years or less. Yes or no for you? Take your time. Beta, welcome back, man. I hope your day was good at work. Mike says, gotta remember Volkanovski was a 250-pound rugby player, so he is a huge featherweight. I think Cejudo's chain wrestling and just his skills, I think he puts Volkanovski on the ground. Truth Bomb says Chisora versus Francis will be a good start. That wouldn't be a bad one, Truth, before seeing Fury. There's money out there for Francis. Drew says Cejudo is arguably the greatest combat athlete of all time. He should get the fight without question if he wanted it. Drew, I'm with you. I think if you want to, why not make that fight happen? But Trey, 2 years. I
think I could see one fight in the next 2 years. I I could see him having one fight in the next 2 years. On the back half of 2 years, though, I don't think.
What are the odds of that? You think? Like, if you had to put a number on it.
Oh, if I had to put a number on him, I think it's like maybe. I bet him not coming back would be favored. I bet it'd be around like 150. He doesn't come back. Minus 150.
Okay.
So that would be like plus 125. He does come back. It's not. It's kind of 50-50, but it's like right now it's like he's not coming back.
Yeah, I agree.
But that could switch like that.
But who though?
We just talked about it. What do you mean?
You could see that Dana White didn't want to give the Piotr Jan fight or the Volkanovski fight. So who else is out there?
You don't know that.
Miller, I don't know what.
It's not just hey, I'm God. You are fighting now. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. It's parties got to agree. Numbers have to line up. Wins have to line up. Whatever's going on. You know what I'm saying? It all has to line up to make sense.
So you think it's just bad timing, and Dana White would say yes?
Makes sense.
So you think Dana White would be like, oh, I said no last time, but now yes. Like, I don't think he ever says yes to a title fight immediately.
It's got to make because it has to make sense. It's not just
Volkanovski made perfect sense right now.
No, because it's a mega fight, and we want to see it as fans. We're selfish, and we want to see that. But
so it makes sense.
It's like, hey, Henry's been gone for 2 years. Let's just throw him in there so we can make a lot of money because Max just backed out.
Trey, this is why I educate you every podcast. Let me ask you a simple question that you won't be able to answer. Okay. If it's not Cejudo, who's bigger than Cejudo right now for Volkanovski? I can answer it for you. It's a rhetorical, but I'll give you some time.
I mean,
I'm just here to help you out.
Like nobody, obviously. Everybody.
Okay, then.
It would be huge. I'm not saying it wouldn't be huge.
So why would
it has to make sense?
It makes sense right now.
No, it doesn't. It makes sense to you because it's like, okay, well, he was gonna fight. Now he's not fighting anybody. Let's just throw this mega fight in there so we can all be entertained and love this. But you don't just get to come back in. Think about you as the champion. Can this guy just come back in and whenever he wants to and just come fight whoever he wants to and get a title shot?
He's a two-time UFC champion. Okay, all right, real quick. Let's say Conor. What? Just hypothetically, just walk with me here. Let's say if this was Conor that did this, you think that fight would be made? Let's say he magically fights at featherweight. And he did the whole retiring out of nowhere, and then he wants to come back. GSP did it.
Does Conor have his 2 losses still, or he walked out on top on? Bro, but
he walked off the same way as Henry. The only reason Henry isn't getting the fight is because he's not as big of a draw as someone like Conor or GSP. But it's still a bigger fight than anybody that's available for Volkanovski.
Now answer me this: how important is that?
How important is what that he's not as big of a draw?
That to be a draw, how important is that?
No, it's really important. But who's a bigger draw than Cejudo for Volkanovski right now that's available?
What if I told you, hey, listen, we can make this fight work, but the way it's set up right now, we're not going to get the numbers we want. We want this to be huge. We want this to be one of the biggest main event and pay-per-views of all time. Could you wait a year? Or would you be like, no, it has to be right now because I'm not fighting anybody and I was supposed to fight and he wants to fight?
But Trey, one thing that I think you keep forgetting, and Truth Bomb just said it, they're pissed that Henry retired. I really think that's what it comes down to. Dana White is not trying to do him any favors.
I don't think Dana's as mad as you think.
I think he is.
I don't think he is.
See, look, there you go, defending Dana White. Dana White has literally said, "Oh, isn't that guy retired?" Then they asked, then the guy at MMA Junkie literally goes, "Oh, but GSP did it." And guess what Dana White does? Ignore the complete question and the example because he's done it before.
Bro.
But it's because it's Henry.
I'm just saying, would you not be a little upset with that if somebody would just randomly said, "All right, my boy, appreciate it."
I would be pissed. But with my options available, I'm going to say, you know what? This is a big fight. This is history.
What does Dana speak the most? Let me think. I believe it's money. Now, what if Henry said, okay, let's work a little deal out. I'll come back for a 3-fight contract. You give me the title shot. First one. Now we're talking money.
Right.
Now we're talking about, okay, we're going to have a huge
You don't think Cejudo like had the stipulation like, look, I want to get paid a certain amount, but yes, I won't just fight one fight and retire. I'm sure that Cejudo offered that.
I bet whatever Cejudo asked for was way out of his asking price.
I think Dana White just literally said, "You're not coming back and fighting for a title your first fight back." That's really what it's all about because he's pissed off.
Maybe, but I don't know. You're just assuming that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Dana White literally said it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But he's done it before with GSP.
Which tells you what? If it's done
GSP is a bigger draw.
No. If it's done correctly and it makes sense.
It was done correctly with GSP?
Yeah, I mean, that's GSP. Like, you like.
Yes, you're right. You're right. It is GSP.
It can always make sense for GSP. GSP could come back right now and fight Usman, and everybody would be like, yeah, that makes sense. Let's do that.
I agree. It's one. He's just a bigger name. I understand. That's what I'm saying. I really think Dana White just doesn't want to do him favors because Cejudo isn't a big of a draw, and the way he retired.
Maybe he doesn't. Dana White's petty sometimes. Everybody, mark that down. Okay, I just said something against Dana.
Wow, that's the first time in history. First time in history.
He's petty sometimes, maybe.
I'm gonna just clip this one part and send it to Dana, see how he feels about it. Let's catch up with chat real quick.
He's gonna stop talking to me. Please don't do that.
If you guys have any questions, let us know before we get out of here. We've been live for an hour 20. Had a great time with Trey here. We've actually agreed more than my liking.
Miller's starting to come around. That's why I haven't switched up. Miller's finally starting to come around a little bit.
You're still a little wrong about Cejudo, which we keep going back and forth about, and the difference between Ngannou and Cejudo. But that's neither here nor there. Wilder will send Francis to the moon. Laughing my ass off says Truth Bomb. Drew says Dana or the owners have to have a problem with Henry. That's exactly what I'm saying, Drew. That's exactly it. Beta Quest says, but it makes more sense to fight a flat-footed bomber than an angle boxer like Fury is guaranteed L with Fury. At least with Wilder, it's all on a puncher's chance. That's a good point, Beta. We don't bring up Wilder enough, but I would love to see that. And Francis will get paid, and Trey will be pissed. What's that?
Is Wilder even going to fight again? That boy's fried.
He kind of mentioned not retirement, but saying like he doesn't have anything else to prove. You know what I mean? So
I think he's going to step away for a little bit.
There's a lot of money to be made for Deontay still, though, Trey, in my opinion.
Doing money, boy. I swear. You
just brought up money with Cejudo.
And making sense. It all has to line up. It's not.
You should be an attorney for Dana White, because I'm like, look, man, I don't want to talk about fighter minimum more because we'll just go on a tangent. Yeah, I might agree with you a bit on that.
I already abused you on fighter pay, like that is tarnished.
I'm switching my stance a little bit. I'll be quite honest. 50K minimum is kind of ridiculous. Right?
You're getting some of that. You're getting some of that liberal. I am owed all this out of you, and you're starting
the entitlement stuff.
Some of that conservative. Oh, you got to work for what you want. You got to actually bring something to the table. Oh, okay.
You had a good point. You know who convinced me? Not you. It was Sean O'Malley. But anyways,
I know, Beta, you won't allow me to convince you. But if you need to hear it from people, that's fine. You go hear it from other people.
Beta says John Jones is getting a title shot when he comes back, and there's controversy and more time off than Cejudo. Ooh.
I don't know if that's true.
You don't think so?
I don't know if that's true at all. I really don't know if that's true.
Let's say it is true. Is that a problem?
Bro, like,
I can educate you real quick if I can tell you the difference, but I'll let you kind of critical think for a little.
There's no way, like, Dana has to hate Cejudo.
No. I'm gonna tell you the difference. Go ahead.
It's not a big difference because
there's a big difference that you're missing. That you're missing.
John Jones tarnishes the UFC name all the time.
But there's a difference.
No, there isn't a difference. He literally gives the UFC a bad look.
No, but there's two differences, Trey.
All right, you go first. And Trey,
this is as simple as it can get.
You just love to argue.
It's just I'm here to educate you. Look, there's two differences. One you've actually been talking about it this whole time. John Jones is a way bigger draw than Cejudo. That's number one. 100%. That's why GSP was able to come back.
Not only that, he's probably the best UFC fighter in history. But go ahead, keep going.
So That's why. That's one. Number two, he didn't retire the way that Cejudo did. That really put a bad taste in Dana White's mouth.
Agreed. Which is why he would be more susceptible to have a title fight. But I don't know. I think genuinely I could see him fighting Stipe for his first heavyweight fight. I don't know why I feel that. I feel that pretty heavily though. Him or Derek Lewis, that makes sense to me. I don't know if he's gonna jump in. Maybe if Gane wins. But like, when is he gonna fight though? You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
it's weird. No, Trey, I agree.
Trouble.
It is weird, but I think he fights for the title first fight back.
It depends, bro. If he can stay out of trouble and get clean and like actually be a quality person for once, then maybe. But I think Dana's fed up with him as much as he is Henry. That might just be me, but every time they bring him up to him, he's like, "Yeah, that guy he can't even stay out of trouble." You know what I'm saying? It's like this guy's tripping pretty much. So,
do we see him fight 2022?
Back half.
We got to come back to this.
Back half if he fights, I think it would be after August.
So you see, all right. Do we see Cejudo 2022?
No.
Okay. But you did give him 2 years, so I'll give you that.
It would be back half of the 2 years. Like I could see one fight, maybe, unlike the 20th month, maybe.
Mike says Dana should give Henry the title shot against Volkanovski with a rematch clause if he wins. I'm sure, like I can't prove it, so maybe I'm not sure or certain, but I have a feeling that I'm sure Cejudo offered that, but Dana White says nope, you're not fighting for a title your first time back because you retired. Look what he said in public. Isn't that guy retired? And as soon as you bring up GSP, is like Dana White switches the subject, or like it's really that, Mike, in my opinion, where Trey, I guess, defends Dana White a little bit, and I understand.
But it's also like, what the media is trying to do. They're trying to get him to say something and get a headline out of it and all that stuff. So it's like Dana, it's an annoyance with Henry, and it's also an annoyance with why y'all shouldn't be asking me this. Like come on, bro.
Drew says Trey must hate Floyd. Wakes up and pisses on a picture of him. Holy moly. Beta says, and I forgot to mention that Curtis Blade said Lewis hits harder than Ngannou. Interesting, Beta. I wish you were here a little bit earlier because Trey was me and him kind of disagree, where he thinks Lewis almost has just as much power as Ngannou, maybe a little bit less, but quicker hand speed, if I'm not mistaken, you were saying, Trey?
Yeah. Yes. Just by not having all that muscle and that weight on him,
he doesn't get past Tuivasa.
Yeah, like you're such a Derek Lewis hater.
He doesn't get past Tuivasa.
I'm figuring it out. You hate Derek Lewis.
He doesn't get past
because I like him so much.
You're saying I hate Derek Lewis, but who wins that fight, Tuivasa or Lewis? Oh, now you want to so who wins?
I gotta say Derek. Like I have to. But listen, I could win. Like he really could. He's the same like style as Derek. He's got crazy amount of power for his size, and if he lands, even if he's wobbled, we saw it against Greg Hardy. He was wobbled, like stumbled, didn't know where he was, and just threw one. And Greg was literally reaching for the sky like he was about to enter the gates of heaven. I mean, he was gone. So the power is just ridiculous. I love Ty also. Like I want to see him do a shoey so bad every time he fights. but bro, it's just I gotta ride with Derek. I've been riding with him so long I can't not say Derek. Like I think it's just a little too early for Ty. But
Lewis is gonna be a gatekeeper, Trey.
What?
Lewis is gonna be a gatekeeper.
All right.
Tuivasa's ranked number 11, and you're having trouble with, I don't know who wins, and he's ranked number 11.
Listen, that's because of my love for him, though. I've watched every fight he's had in the UFC. Like that's my dog.
Trey, let me give you some names. Tuivasa, all right. So let's say he potentially loses against him. Tom Aspinall, Derek Lewis, who wins?
I got Derek Lewis still winning right now.
You're stop
this year.
Oh my God!
Listen.
Joe, thank you for subscribing. By the way,
wait. Let me put it like this. I think Tom Aspinall would be a better fight against Derek Lewis than Ty.
I respect that. I think Tom Aspinall is that good.
He's a dog.
But you have Lewis winning both fights, don't you?
Yeah.
He loses both fights.
I got. You think he loses both fights?
I think he loses both fights.
You're hella disrespectful. Like that.
How?
Because why? They're not better.
Tom Aspinall, I would say, is better than Derek Lewis. Tuivasa is a toss-up.
3 fights in the UFC.
I know greatness when I see it. I know greatness.
Great too. I think he's going to be a star. I just think this is a little too early.
Ciryl Gane was practically unknown until like a year and a half ago. So same thing. I just think Aspinall hasn't got the opportunities yet.
Look how much everybody rides Francis, and you saw his first little go at it. That boy was, you know what I'm saying, like
that was a weird fight. That was one of the worst fights. Let's catch up with chat real quick before we get out of here. Beta says you're tripping, Miller. I'm glad we finally disagree, Beta. That's good. Let's talk about it. What am I tripping about with Derek Lewis? True Mom says no. When he makes statements like Gane is the most athletic heavyweight ever, his credibility goes right out the window. LOL. He's talking about you, Trey. Let's. Wait.
If Ciryl Gane is not the most athletic and light on his feet heavyweight of all time, who is? Please don't say John Jones, because he's even more athletic than John Jones. And John Jones ain't even fought yet.
I don't know about that.
Oh, he is. He's more athletic. That's what's crazy. Miller, that's what's actually crazy. He's lighter on his feet than John Jones. Think about that.
But when you say more athletic, you got to be talking about wrestling and fighting out of the clinch, where I don't know. John Jones, I would say probably does that better.
I'm speaking of an athlete. How athletic is he?
Like straight physical attributes, I guess.
Physical attributes, like how he moves, IQ.
Gotcha.
Not so much IQ, but how he moves and on light on his feet, and his physique. He's the most like who is.
Okay, so people are disagreeing with me here. Trey Joe De Jesus says Derek Lewis wins versus Tuivasa. Tuivasa is too reckless. Tuivasa got nasty leg kicks. He's gonna chop Lewis down, says Drew. Interesting. So we got some disagreement here on this Trash Talk Tuesday. Derek picks his shots. Tuivasa is too reckless. Aspinall beats Lewis. I agree, Drew. Aspinall beats anybody but Gane and Francis. I agree. Francis is a toss-up. I think Gane beats Tom Aspinall because I think Gane is that good right now. You're not giving Derek Lewis credit for picking his shots. Still has knockout power in the last second of the last round. Joe, that's a great look. Hey, I respect it.
That's my boy Joe, by the way, that I shouted out.
He just subscribed today. So Joe, thank you for subscribing today. I guess we disagree.
Y'all kind of look like you just got hair, but go ahead. Y'all are both 5'2", so it works out. But go ahead.
I think your mustache is horrible. I think Tuivasa. I think Tuivasa is a bit reckless, but Derek Lewis, he just looked really bad against Gane. He did win right after that, but
wipe that out of your head. Like I swear you've only watched that fight of Derek Lewis. Have you seen any of his other fights?
I saw him
Have
against
you seen any of them, Miller?
I saw him against.
I swear that's the only fight you watched.
I saw him against Dawkins. He relies on power.
You've only seen those two?
No. I'm saying you're saying you haven't seen any of his fights, and I saw his most recent fights. I saw the Gane, I saw the Dawkins, I saw the Francis Ngannou. All I'm saying is he relies on power, and yes, he has knocked people out in the last second of the last round. But all his wins are not pretty. Most of his wins are not pretty.
Listen, he had that boy Kyle Dawkins so bad. I think I saw him reach for his gun at one point. I think he thought he was out there on the streets again. I saw him reach back for his holster.
Let's look at Derek Lewis wins right now.
Okay.
26-8.
What?
26-8.
So he's a Hall of Famer? Okay.
He lost to Daniel Cormier lost was horrible, but that's Daniel Cormier.
But that's like arguably one of the best fighters of all time too.
Daniel, and then with his wrestling and everything, JDS, he got knocked out in the second round, and then he beats Ivanov. He beats Oleinik in round number 2. What was the fight that he gets the knockout literally like in the closing seconds? What fight was that?
Are you talking about Derek?
Yeah, was that the Ivanov fight?
I don't remember. I think it was.
He beat Curtis Blades, but Curtis Blades.
No, it wasn't Curtis.
No. I'm just saying, like, I don't like Curtis that much either.
I cannot remember. I know. I feel like it was
It was Volkov. 449 of he wasn't winning that fight if I remember correctly. That was a long time ago. That was 2018.
That was a close fight. He wasn't losing that fight.
I think he was losing that fight.
Maybe about a little bit. But Miller, that's the thing. Actually, I do remember he was losing that fight.
He was losing that fight, and that's the one that he literally landed in the closing seconds. But that's
Miller,
how
that's
Lewis fights.
He could be getting whooped. It could be the 5th round, and then he can still have that one punch. He still has the power.
I think we're gonna break into a time. This is all speculative, but where that's not gonna work anymore. That has worked historically in the UFC, maybe in the heavyweight division, but now we're seeing a lot more talented heavyweights like Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane, maybe even Francis Ngannou, like not as skilled, but I just don't think Derek Lewis beats these guys. Like I don't think he's as skilled.
Yeah, Francis is the prototype of that.
He is a prototype, but again, his height, his reach, his explosiveness, and I think he is.
So then it will still be a thing then. Listen, in the heavyweight division,
Francis is a freak of nature, though.
Listen, maybe in other divisions, okay, but in the heavyweight, there's always going to be that one shot chance.
There is. I'm just saying, there's going to come a time where it's not as Penny, stop. Where it's not as prominent. Like, for example, like when you see Francis Ngannou in the octagon, he looks physically like just bigger than everyone else. Derek Lewis, you don't really get that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the heavyweight division, you're always going to win. But that's always a possibility.
Miller, that's what makes him so crazy.
What if he loses against Tuivasa?
Then Tuivasa is exactly what we think he is.
Okay. That's fair, but I think he loses to Aspinall as well too. Like, I don't think
you say that you think that's not gonna work anymore, but all the dudes you named are like unproven guys that haven't really done anything close to what Derek has done yet. So until that starts actually,
but again, his wins weren't impressive. His wins weren't that impressive. That's what I'm saying. Against Volkov, it looked like he was losing. Against Cormier, he lost, and then that's Cormier. Against JDS, he lost. Then he beats Ivanov, Oleinik. Damn, Oleinik was round 2, 21 seconds. Curtis Blades, which Curtis Blades looked horrible his last. Who was it against? Even though he beat Rosenstrike, it was.
But Miller, that's what started it. That's what started Curtis Blades. This dude might be garbage.
Yeah, no, he was like, even though he beat Rosenstrike, it was like, and then against Gane, he got completely dominated. I mean, I'm not big on Derek Lewis, but hey, if people disagree, I think Lewis.
Don't know UFC or you know what I'm saying? You don't really know this, but it's all right.
So Joe De Jesus says, where is it? You're not. Damn, where is it? I just saw it on my screen. There it is. I think Lewis lost Miller money on a parlay. Joe says Miller gatekeeper comment diabolical.
Look, Derek must have looked at Jericho or something. You know what I'm saying? And said hey to her or something because Miller. This guy
Joe is on Joe is really Trey. He's actually like writing on another account, so he's just defending Lewis. Nah, I'm just playing. Joe, welcome to the stream. Plugs, welcome to the stream. Beta says Lewis has a tendency to fall off when there is true opposition. Sure, Miller, but a tuned-in Lewis has great instincts. He has a great way of closing distance and closing the show. Says
I think that's a horrible take. Let's ban him for 300 seconds. I think it's a horrible take because we just talked about Volkov, about how he got knocked out. Who was that? Beta?
Beta. It was Beta. You have something against Beta.
Kick yourself out for 300 seconds at least.
He said kick yourself. You hear this, Beta? Look, I think...
Hey, let me just say this. He's got the right name. Definitely know that boy's a Beta for real.
Oh my God. You guys, we trash talk. We have fun here. Joe, by the way, thank you for subscribing today. Every heavyweight has knockout power, says Truth Bomb. All right, let's kind of close the show. We've been on for like about an hour 30. I'll probably only keep an hour as far as the live stream. Everybody that's here, thank you for being here. Trey, thank you again for being here. If you guys don't know, me and Trey, we go back and forth all the time, but I do have respect for him besides his Lewis takes and Cejudo takes and Dana White takes. But anyways,
but I don't get upset about that because Miller doesn't really know about fighting and stuff. So I'm here to teach him and help him out, and everything. So
Lewis has a tendency to knock cats out, says Joe De Jesus. I think Trey just found his next best friend. And Joe, by the way, we're going to be doing a live commentary Saturday. You bang with Joe. We're going to do a live commentary on Saturday. That's what we usually do for the big fights. Trey, are you going to be watching UFC 270 live?
Oh, absolutely.
So, okay. So maybe if you want to hop on afterwards, it's going to be late, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll be up. So maybe I can call and pop in for like 15 minutes or something.
Yeah, guys, also hit the thumbs up if you haven't already on the video. Helps the channel out immensely. All right, closing thoughts. Trey has Ciryl Gane winning and Brandon Moreno. Is there anything you want to say about those two title fights before we get out of here? And any closing thoughts?
Yes. This card isn't that crazy of a card because we got so spoiled at the end of the year. The past couple cards. But I think there's a couple surprise fights that could make this card pretty.
Aren't you like a big Greg Hardy fan? Like, isn't that like your favorite fighter?
I love him because he used to play for the Panthers. And,
so you don't care that he hit like women or anything? All right, cool.
And I'm from North Carolina. No, that actually makes me like him a little bit more because I'm actually all about equality and women's rights and everything. We should all be equal. So if a woman chirps up a little bit, sometimes she needs to get smacked around. I'm only kidding.
Equal rights get equal lefts. No, I'm gonna clip that and I'm gonna make sure I post that. But
I'm only kidding. I'm kidding.
Definitely gonna post that.
Beautiful women in here right now. I just want to apologize for what I just said. And also, if you want to slide in my DMs and talk about it, you want to talk to me about it at DTrey Melton on Instagram. You can slide in my DMs and talk to me about that. I think Brandon Moreno dub. I think yeah.
He has Figuerado's number.
Everything I need to say. I don't really have anything else to say on all that. I think it's going to be a better card than it looks on paper, though. That's what I will say.
Okay. Plugs ask, what were your predictions? Unfortunately, me and Trey disagree, so that's gonna make me really think about my picks because he usually is always wrong. Plugs, he has Ciryl Gane and Brandon Moreno winning. I have Ciryl Gane and Brandon Moreno winning. I think Ciryl Gane will win a decision. I think he's gonna close the show out again. How do you have Brandon winning, by the way? I
want to say like a 4th or 5th round submission, but I could highly. I want to say submission. I think it's a submission.
Didn't you say Ciryl Gane by knockout too?
Yeah, I want to say like 3rd round. Yeah, I can see some finishes on this card. That's why I think it's going to be a better card than it looks like on paper. I think there's going to be quite a few finishes on this card.
Okay. Beta says, it's okay, Trey, it's all love. Even when we agree, he hates me. I mean, Trey's an interesting individual because if you say anything against Dana, he's going to come after you.
I think Dana's great. I think he has a great business, but,
Drew says, let Trina White meet the Fertitas. You didn't even talk about Valdez versus Shakur. Wasted all that time on B-level Lewis. It's Trey's fault. Real quick.
Who said that?
Truth Bomb.
Truth Bomb. Yeah, changed his name to Dummy Bomb. That boy.
Look, it's gonna be one of those things, Trey, where either you're right about Derek Lewis and I'm gonna look horribly wrong.
It's not like he's an unproven fighter and we're trying to figure out if he's gonna be good or not. This boy's proven he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. Like, he's a legend.
I think his best days are behind him.
Not only that. Who the heck is keeping up with his on the mic game when he's on the mic after the fights and stuff?
No, he's great. He's great with that. He's great.
He's entertaining.
Yeah, he's
my balls is high. Beta, come fan him real fast for me. Appreciate it.
He's entertaining. He's always going to be able to get fights because he's entertaining and because he has knockout power. But what's that?
And because why?
Because he's entertaining and he has knockout power.
Because what's the most important thing about him?
About Derek Lewis?
Yeah.
That he has power?
He wins. All right, keep going.
His best days are behind him. And these heavyweights that are arising are going to slowly make him become a gatekeeper, in my opinion. I guess we'll see, like 2 years from now, we'll talk. And we'll see if you...
Listen, he might be a gatekeeper because he's talking about he don't want to fight for a title unless
he doesn't want to fight past 3 rounds. Who says that? What fighter said? Like, you just made me like dislike him like more as a fighter, not as a person. Who says that? I don't want to fight 5 rounds.
Imagine having championship opportunities and being able to type a fight. You say, "Yeah, let's y'all drop that thing down." I'm not fighting.
His best days are behind him for that. Oh my god, I completely forgot about that till you mentioned it. So,
oh, that's hilarious.
Real quick, they want to talk a little boxing real quick. Was that?
He's a legend for that, 100%.
Look, Beta and Truth, real quick. Let me say before we get out of here, Trey, once again, thank you so much. Next week, we're going to do this every Tuesday around 6 p.m. So if you guys could be here next week, Please make sure you guys hit the bell for post notifications, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. We're going to be here next Tuesday. Every Tuesday, we're going to have a podcast. Hopefully, Trey can make it every Tuesday. If not, we'll have some other guests. We're also going to be doing a live commentary this Saturday, so be here for that. Okay, with all that said, real quick, I want to quickly go over Valdez and Shakur. We were speculating that the only reason Shakur got this fight was because of Arum, about him having a problem with Crawford. I just want to quickly say, we'll talk more about that next Tuesday on the next podcast. I think Shakur just completely dominates Valdez. I am that big on Shakur Stevenson. Him and Boots Ennis are the two names that I just don't see losing. I think Shakur is that special. Now, Valdez has great power. His left hook landing on Burchell to knock him out was great. Valdez is a good fighter. I just don't think anybody at 135, 130, even 126, I don't think he goes down that low, but I don't think Shakur loses at this weight. Maybe against a Lomachenko, but maybe a Gervonta Davis. I think he beats Haney. I think he beats Teofimo. I'm really that high on Shakur Stevenson. I know I didn't plan to talk about Shakur. I just think he's masterful at the art of hitting and not getting hit. I think he's that special. Is he that entertaining? I'm not saying that either. So we do definitely need to have a podcast about Shakur Stevenson. But no, I don't think he's that entertaining yet. But I think he showed a lot of power against Herring. And I think as far as like compared to before. Now, against Valdez, hopefully the fight gets made. We'll keep talking about it. I think he beats Valdez, but Valdez is still a game opponent. He still has power. If he's able to get Shakur like to disrupt him, then he might have some success. But I think Shakur's just gonna make him pay just way too much whenever Valdez tries to get any somewhat aggressive. Shakur is just a tough fight for anybody. So I just quickly want to say that about Shakur. Keeping It Real says, come on, Gane, don't let me stay homeless, bro. Keeping It Real is betting the house on Ciryl Gane. Gonna be a banger of a fight, says Truth Bomb. I agree. I can't wait for that. I'll make sure next Tuesday we talk about that more. It's just we've been live for like about an hour 40. I'm going to cut some of it out. Trey, sorry about that whole, I just wanted to bring that.
Oh, you're good. I love it. I think Shakur has a little Floyd in him. You know what I'm saying? He's not the most exciting fighter, but he doesn't get hit. You know what I'm saying? And
doesn't get hit. I think his the ratio that he gets hit is like.
All right, so don't be calling me whoever whatever big famous producer of boxing is, whatever his name. Don't be calling me after him. Boxing is not my lane. I don't know anything about it, but I do know Shakur Stevenson.
He reminds me of Pernell Whitaker, as far as like just being very crafty and landing punches and getting out the way. You saw how he lost in the Olympics, and then ever since he's been on a tear. And then I think he's growing into his body too, so I think he's going to have more power. Floyd had power when he was young. The problem was that he started having hand injuries and things of that nature, but I think Shakur Stevenson, one of his biggest criticisms is that he doesn't have power. I think he's going to grow into his power, and I think he's going to start hitting hard with both hands. I think he's going to be dangerous. I'm really high on Shakur, so if he ends up taking a loss in the next 5 years, I will be just baffled. I don't see that kid losing to anybody besides I don't see him losing. I think the only competitive fights out there that I could see him maybe having trouble with is someone like Davis, just because he's that explosive as well as far as power.
Bronte looked a little iffy his last fight.
He didn't look great. I'm just saying style-wise. Yeah. No one's going to outbox Shakur. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's going to be someone that's athletic. Maybe Teofimo could be somewhat threatening, but he got dominated by George Kambosos, but there's speculation on that.
Dude, that's what's crazy.
Shakur Stevenson not ready for Teofimo. I think Joe subscribed today, so hopefully I don't make you dislike me that much. But I think Shakur.
There's a Teo hater, Joe. So just know that he hates Teo now.
I had him beating Kambosos, but he disappointed. He did beat Lomachenko, but Lomachenko had a slow start. We can talk about. I think it'll rematch. Maybe Lomachenko wins. I don't know. I think Teofimo's biggest problem, I don't know if you keep up with it as much, Trey, is his I think he needs someone else in his corner. I think his father, if you watch the fight, there was one round, bro, Trey, I'm not even exaggerating. One round, his father is telling him, Teofimo, be patient. And then in the next round, he goes, why didn't you get this guy out of here yet? The mixed signals, you know what I'm saying? What kind of, in a championship fight, how does that happen? You know
I think we're finding out that maybe Teo wasn't maybe as high as we put him on that pedestal.
So you're saying maybe he had a performance of his lifetime against Lomachenko?
Yeah, like and the stars just aligned, and then everybody was on him after that fight. It was like that boy
That
took off,
that was a big win.
and
That,
we have to be like the greatest in the world.
Teofimo is a very crafty counter puncher, and like you saw what he did to Comey, knocked him out in like the second round, where it took Lomachenko longer, but Lomachenko's not that big of a puncher. Teofimo, I think he's still skilled. I think he still gives anyone in his division problems, like Devin Haney, maybe even a Camboso's rematch. I think Teofimo is good. Don't get me wrong. I think he had the worst game plan against Cambosos and paid for it. If he had a different game plan, he possibly could have won. I really think he has to change something in his corner. If not, it's just going to be a problem where he doesn't necessarily improve. It's just all I think it is. Yeah. Do you think Francis and Gane could be boring? Yes. I haven't really mentioned that yet. I heard a couple people saying it. It might actually be a very underwhelming fight where Ciryl Gane is not taking that many chances. He's worried about Francis and Ngannou. So what's up, Trey?
At the over 1.5, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think it has to. I think there's no way it ends before that. I mean, I'll be shocked if Ngannou lands clean. It could happen. It could be an underwhelming fight.
It'll have to be a perfect shot. Gane won't get that close to start. He'll kind of keep his distance and find his distance and work the leg kicks and stuff like that, body kick.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Moreno fight is better. Like, if anything, I'll be surprised if it's not better. You like, as far as like,
I could definitely see that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That wouldn't surprise me either.
You can rewatch it. Will Ryder, we actually had a great conversation with Trey. Let me see if I can catch up. I had Cambosos beating Teofimo. No, he definitely won that fight. I picked Teofimo to win, but Joe De Jesus says I was high on him. I was high on Teofimo too, and I think he's still special. I just think he has to change something in his corner. Beta says that Herring fight, he brought the dog out, and I see why you're big on him. I don't see Valdez taking it. Beta, like, I'm sorry, like, just straight off the eye test, Shakur is that special. He does everything good. Attacking the body. He does well, just purely outboxing whoever he's in there with. You saw against Mariago, you saw against Herring, you saw against Joet Gonzalez. He just dominated. He's that good. I just don't see him losing anytime soon. Damn busy at the moment, so yeah, Will Ryder, you could catch it again. But thank you for being here, Ryder always showing love. Have you seen the drama between Francis and his old coach? Yes. Well, his old coach is Ciryl Gane's coach. And they've been training partners before. Oh, all right. So last thing, I know we've been like way over our time. Trey, do you think, and I'm asking you guys as well, chat, but do you think that plays a factor at all, Trey? One's being training partners and kind of like feeling each other out. Does that have any relevance to the fight this weekend at all?
Definitely lets you know kind of what you're not walking. I mean, it's still something new because every fight is different. Every fight is new, but you're more familiar with. You kind of know how he moves a little bit. You kind of know the power he brings sometimes. Maybe some tendencies that he likes to do. You know what I'm saying? That definitely plays a factor into it, which is why I think they're both going to scheme each other, and it's going to be slow at first, and they're just going to try and figure each other out. They're both going to bring something a little different, so it's not like they're just sparring again. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll work into it. But definitely, that absolutely plays a factor into it. Absolutely.
I could see it being boring. I could see Ciryl Gane winning maybe a unanimous decision. Is there any way Ngannou wins by decision, Trey?
I don't know. See, that was kind of crazy. You said earlier he's never won a decision.
No, I was looking at his record. They're all knockouts.
I did not know that stat, and
I'm just here to educate you, Trey. Don't worry.
And thank you, Father. And my thing is like,
yeah,
he doesn't win the decision because he gets tired. You know what I'm saying? It's like he withers down, and he still has the power, but it's like he's not throwing as much, he's not moving as much. He's kind of just locking in, looking for that one hit where he can just boom, lights out. So it's just like,
you know what scares me, Trey? Like, this is very speculative too.
Let me say this one.
Go ahead. Yep.
It could be boring. But also them being training partners, having a little history. He walked by him, didn't even say anything in the hall and stuff. Could bring a little bit of intensity to the fight, So I could see, the pace picked up a little bit maybe, but nothing crazy.
We have seen so many upsets, and the reason I say that is Imagine this is the time that your camera went out. By the way,
My bad.
no, you're good. Imagine this is the one day where Ngannou just fights a perfect fight and wins a decision. Like, this is probably a horrible example, Trey. Do you remember when Blachowicz fought Adesanya, and
Yes.
when they were striking, you could just see that the reason why I bring that up, you could see Blahovich's power was just that much more like it was just way more powerful than Adesanya. So when he was landing, it was just bigger. What if Ngannou just has one of these like memorable fights where he's just landing the bigger shots?
But yes, but the weight difference is
it was against. I know that's what I was thinking. It's probably a horrible example.
So big, and he's like a power puncher, right?
Right. Yeah. Now
Gane is huge. I mean, Francis is huge, and he's a power puncher. But Gane's not as much as a finesse as Izzy is. I would say he's light on his feet, but he still packs power, and his leg kick is ridiculous. And I think he lands those right into Francis's body and starts withering him away. And that means Francis either has to be in the pocket and like throwing with him, and they're slugging it out, or he's got to keep his distance and just pop in every now and then. And if he has to keep his distance and pop in every now and then I just think Gane has to do it. But do you think Francis has to fight a perfect fight to win this fight?
Yeah, I think so. Like if it goes the distance, that's what I'm saying. Like, of course he always has that one punch, like, you know, it can land. You know, he has a puncher's chance, and any power puncher always does. But if he doesn't land that big that big punch, how else does he win? It's really hard to see him win a decision, right? It's really hard. But that's what I'm saying. Like, just imagine, like, we have seen stranger things in fighting. Like, just imagine Ngannou fights in the pocket and just just starts landing some big shots against Ciryl Gane, and Gane can't really get going because anytime he, you know, exchanges, he pays for it. Like, I'm just saying, like, I can't wait for it, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a possibility. I don't know. I think Gane keeps his distance and just gets a couple leg kicks to the body, leg kicks.
Yeah,
you know.
I agree. I have Gane winning. Don't get me wrong. Like,
just paces it out kind of, and then.
No, I agree.
I could see Francis getting like a little irritated and annoyed and desperate and kind of like making a mistake.
And he might have to.
Yeah.
I almost wish Derek Lewis did that, like, kind of like just, you know, kind of just went for it because he couldn't get going. Like,
he was just off like that. Derek doesn't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's Derek Lewis.
Well, he got Tuivasa next, so.
All right.
True, and Tuivasa is probably going to win that. Truth Bomb, I think he's going to pick Haney, and they possibly will fight in Australia. I know they haven't got anything locked yet. I saw his last interview. Camboso's on Fox Sports TV, or Fox Australia. I think Haney's probably the easiest option. I think Davis is not going to be the B-side, and you know how Mayweather Promotions is, and I just don't think they'll be able to get a deal where Haney's probably going to be a little bit easier to make. Lomachenko is also live as well, too, as far as him being, you know, signed with Lou DiBella and him having a relationship with Arum and possibly becoming a mandatory. So, but if I had to guess right now, Truth, I would say that it's that Haney is the most likely candidate. Drew says Naoya Inoue going to beat some names. I put him in my top 5.
That dude, like, dead serious.
Oh, Naoya's great. I put him in a video as far as like the top 5 young boxers to, like, you know, come up. I think he's that special. Henry Cejudo will be in Figgy's corner, and Henry trained with Moreno. So do you see anything there? We talked about that earlier. You saw how he did it with Zhang Weili, and she had a better fight against Namajunas, but I just think Moreno has Figuerado's number. I think he's going to be able to pull out a victory, but it's definitely it's definitely something to think about, Plugs, as far as the ground game and Cejudo, what he's been able to do in his career. Whether Figueredo could implement that in the octagon this coming weekend, maybe. And I believe the octagon is going to be bigger than when they first fought. Whether that plays a factor as well, too, I don't know. But it's something that we definitely have to think about, Plugs. Let me see. I get frustrated with the lightweight division because there could be true bangers and we're missing out on them. if you're talking about boxing beta, that's always been boxing's plague as far as like them not being able to make certain fights happen. I think this year and next year we see more lightweight classics. I seen Kambosos on Joe Rogan podcast, and he's an old school mindset. Yeah. I made a video on that as well too, not to promote, but I talked about Kambosos being on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I think Kambosos is going to be one of those champions that is going to really take his belt seriously and going to try to defend it. I think he might lose him against someone like Lomachenko. I think he's very against Haney. I can see Kambosos winning that fight. We have seen Haney hurt against Linares. His fight against Jojo Diaz, he was somewhat impressive, but I don't know. Kambosos, he impressed me against Teofimo too, and I think he rises to the occasion. So we'll see. All right, any last thoughts, Trey? I'm sorry about that. Excuse me.
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. I don't know what else I would say. No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I love being on this. I'll be on here anytime you want me to be on here, every Tuesday if you want me to. So
let's try next Tuesday. So next Tuesday we could recap UFC 270 and whatever else happened. So
perfect.
So thank you, Trey. Chat, if you guys have anything else to say, let us know. But we're about to get out of here. Once again, this is Trey Melton. If you want to put your socials in the chat, please do, Trey.
Melton on everything. So
yeah. So it's Trey Melton. It's T. I'll write it real quick so you guys have it.
TheTreymelton. Get at me.
So, like,
hey,
bad.
if you think I'm wrong, hit me up. I love doing this. Like, let's talk. Unless you're beta, don't hit me up at all.
So by the way, Trey might be back after the event this Saturday, where if he was wrong, you can come at him or whatever. Joe, real quick, I will say, oh man, we have to talk. There's another guest that we usually have. His name is Von Blue, and he thinks I'm the biggest
guy, idiot.
I can't wait to clip that part too and send it to him. He thinks I'm the biggest Haney hater, and there's reasons why. I have like religiously almost talked bad about Haney. I'm not that impressed with him either. I think his hands, like, I don't think he packs power that much. I don't even think he looked that great against Santiago, against Gamboa, against Diaz he won, but he might lose against Kambosos. I think he loses to Davis. I think he loses to Shakur, to Lomachenko. I'm not big on Haney either, so Joe, we have a lot to talk about. I'll just say that. I think Ryan Garcia would sleep Haney. Ryan Garcia is a weird one, but we'll have to talk about that too, because
you talking about the Instagram boxer.
What gets me mad about Ryan Garcia real quick is that he got me pissed off when everybody wanted to see the Davis versus Garcia fight. Then Davis goes, "Oh yeah, I'll take the fight." And then he said he's has mental issues, right? Which, okay, whatever. You're going through like a mental breakdown or whatever. Speaking of Ryan Garcia, but then he's talking about trash about Davis when he beats Cruz. Like, I don't know. He's all over the place. What did you say, Trey?
I said, yeah, say that for the birds. Mental issues. I mean, come on, buddy.
Like, it's just Ryan Garcia really frustrated me, but
his
mental
issues was, oh my god, he just said he would take he's gonna take the fight. Oh, no. I'm scared. That was his.
I was hyped for Haney, Joe, but his Diaz fight is showing the world that it's easy to get in his head, and he gets caught. Against Linares. He got wobbled. So, I don't know. I think even Kambosos, I might pick Kambosos over him. I think Lomachenko beats him. I think Gervonta Davis beats him. I think Shakur beats him. I'm not that big on Haney. I actually, like, Von Blue hates me for it, so we'll have to have a boxing podcast soon too. Ryan Garcia will get slept by Davis. I agree, Joe. Ryan Garcia has big potential, though. He does. He has a natural God-given talent as far as speed, hand speed, and power, but he punches with his chin up. You saw he got caught by Luke Campbell. If Davis lands that punch, he would have got him out of there. But we'll talk more boxing. Once again, Trey, thank you for being here. We've been live for like 2 hours. I'll edit this out. I just want to say thank you, Trey. We'll be back next Tuesday for a podcast, but we'll be back this Saturday for a live commentary of UFC 270. So, guys, make sure you guys here, hit the bell for post notifications. Once again, Trey, thank you for being here. If you want to say anything, any last words, please let us know and sign us out.
Hit myself, so I'm about to hang up off here, but I appreciate you having me. I always love it. I'll be here as much as you want me to be. Follow me at the Trey Melton on everything. And Trump 2024, baby. Let's get it.
Trey, I'll make sure for the next podcast I'm gonna have your links as far as your Instagram link, your Twitter link in the description. I'm sorry, I've been meaning to do that. I haven't.
You're good. All right, I'm gonna holler at you though. I gotta go to the bathroom so bad.
Yep. All right, later, man.
All right, my boy.
Broski. All right, man. That's Trey Mellon. He's the homie. He's great. We should get Joe Herron from War Week Radio. He's a great guest. Maybe I'll reach out to him. I mean, I would love to get more guests here. The only fighter that we've interviewed also is Alex Caceres. But if we get more guests like Joe Herron or anyone else, I would love to. If you have any connections, let me know. He has elite hand speed. Yeah, he does. He does, Joe. That's his bread and butter, right? Now, whether he could implement that in a 12-round fight against a really good boxer, it remains to be seen. But he did impress me against Luke Campbell, but then we haven't seen him since. So that's what's a little concerning. I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Make sure you're here next week for the for UFC 270 live commentary. That was Trey with me here. Let's keep growing this channel. We're at 5,100 subscribers, so we've been growing this channel immensely and quickly. So let's keep making that happen. Joe, thank you for subscribing today. Beta, thank you for always being here and showing love. I truly appreciate your support. Andrew, Truth Bomb, all you guys, thank you for being here. I'll catch you guys this Saturday. All right, guys, much love, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.